Hey folks, here's a video here. It's a little short here. This white guy calling out what the election is really about. A lot of people are saying this. Black people are saying that. The leftists are saying that. Some are. What this really is about is power. I mean, in certain things. What this really. What it's really about. Not this. I have to say the election's about. It's about what is the difference between, in terms of crime, like who's the hero, who's not the hero, who's celebrated. Certain people are celebrated for doing this. It depends what their victims are. We live in a kind of a white supremacist society, and the heroes are the white guys or white people. It depends if they're the black people are the bad guys here, and the white people are the good guys. It's kind of black and white, but it's not really. There's nuance, but it's kind of like that. They portray them simple. I'm talking about not the more on the right than the left. There's some of the left buy into this too. Like the victim, if you're a victim, like there's no concern about the black victims of crime. I mean, in terms of you know what I mean? But if you're white, you see, and you, certain situations you go into, like reduced force, excessive force, and it's okay, I guess. And they say they care about crime, but they're not really. If it affects the white people, white folks, I mean, if they're the victim, I mean, this guy's gonna explain it. This is from Ben Dixon. This is his little YouTube short, I guess. If they're the victim, and it's a black against black. I'm going to say that they're the victim. It doesn't have to be like black and white in general. It doesn't have to be black against white. It could be just, depends who they're the victim or they're the perpetrator. And it goes along racial lines, but even politics. If they're a right winger on the right, there's more compassion for them. If they're perpetrating the crime than someone on the left, or if someone is a different group. If they're like someone is a minority group, if they're like if the minority group's the victim, there's less compassion for them. I mean, and conversely, if the other group, if they're the perpetrator of the white, the MAGAs, the perpetrator of the crime, then they're just falsely accused, or they're not. They have a right to do this, shoot that black person or whatever, because they're being robbed or whatever. I'm trying to explain. I'm tired tonight, folks, but. And he's gonna explain, this white guy, he's based. Hear what he says.
Out there. Why is it that the Republican Party, in this case particularly Donald Trump, always seems to look up to white people as heroes? In this case, the McCloskeys pointing guns at a bunch of black people and Black Lives Matter protesters that weren't even on their property. And then when they were charged, the governor knocked down the charges, and then all of a sudden they were speaking at the Republican National Convention. You look at Kyle Rittenhouse, an idiot who should have never been there at 17 dressed up in camouflage and an AR-15. 3 people end up killed. Whether it's self-defense or not, Kyle Rittenhouse is not a hero.
Exactly. Plus he has a gun. He was defending himself because the guy had a skateboard. Skateboarding in a bag. And that's still doesn't justify shooting the person. I mean, you didn't have to shoot the person if you had a gun. I mean, no one's gonna. It's a ridiculous defense. And he got away with it. People defend him, even people on the left defend him. Like, what's his name? Just Destiny defends this guy. So that's not just the MAGA who defend this guy.
Bro. And then we go to Daniel Penny.
Yep.
Now, I don't think Daniel Penny is a hero. I'd like to think that if you're choking somebody and they're unconscious and you continue that chokehold, that you're not a hero.
Yep.
But Donald Trump invites Daniel Penny to a football game. Why is it that the Republican Party look up to these kinds of people? No, he invites people like Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yep, folks. The powerless black man, homeless guy. Well, you know what? They don't care about the homeless, and their society doesn't really care about the homeless. Let's be honest, folks. You really don't care. That's why, too. And plus, he has a black dude, a black man, so that's why. I mean, no one said he could defend the people in the subway, but he didn't have to. He didn't have to chokehold the guy. He could just hold him down. And there's 2 guys holding the guy. There's 3 guys holding him down. I think I saw like this. Showed photos of it. I think there's a video. There's a video too. The 2 guys was holding him down, or 3 guys, and he didn't have to choke him like that. 6 minutes. I mean, yeah, he shouldn't be a hero. It's a tragedy. He shouldn't be just like. He shouldn't be a hero. Harmless, homeless guy. Well, not harmless, but he had no weapon. I'll just go on now. See what else he says.
He invites people like Penny, the McCloskeys, and the Republican Party looks up to these people as heroes. Well, let me be very clear here, and you guys could make up your own conclusions. I think I know why, and I think the color of skin has a lot to do with it. But you see, if you choke out somebody that's black and they die, the Republican Party looks up to you as a hero. But if you're black and you actually do something heroic, they ignore the story altogether. If you watch Fox News, they'll make it seem like only black people are committing crimes in this country. You don't believe me? Watch Fox News all day. They will show black people committing crimes throughout the country. But how many times does Fox News show the January 6th insurrection?
Nope, 0.
But if you listen to Donald Trump or many of his supporters, Kyle Rittenhouse is the hero. Daniel Penny is the hero. The McCloskeys are heroes. Ask yourself this question. Why is it those kinds of people are put up on a pedestal by the Republican Party?
Amazing question. I'm so glad you asked, my woke white brother. First of all, shout out to all of the woke white folks out there who are not afraid of confronting the absolute truth as it pertains to white supremacy in the United States of America. Salute to every one of you. Don't let them make you afraid of being called woke. Don't make them make you timid. No, speak out boldly, just like my white brother did right here. Now, you already know the answer. You already gave it. I just want to do a little bit addition to what you already said. You pretty much covered it all. But the number one goal of MAGA is to be able to get away with killing black people. I made a lot of people mad when I made this statement last week on Twitter. I mean, they are absolutely furious. But if you look at the structured technique that they utilize, which is to go case by case by case, and to find somehow, some way to justify the death of the individual that is separate from the culprit who caused the death. What do I mean? Derek Chauvin versus George Floyd. They insist that Derek Chauvin was not the real cause of death, even though we watched him kneel on that man's neck until his life ended in a 9-minute video. Same thing with Daniel Penny. They insist, well, Jordan Neely was not really killed by Daniel Penny. And even in that case, they still venerate him as being a hero, saving all of those precious people on the train from this monstrous black man. You see how they try to have it both ways? So they want to, number one, get away with killing us, but then number two, whether they did the killing or not, they want to venerate the individual, just like Kyle Rittenhouse, who is a hero to them. Vigilante justice against minority groups has always been a staple of white supremacy. It happened with the Native Americans. It happened with enslaved Africans in America. It happened with all minority groups as they begin to immigrate into this nation. It's happening right now. It's still happening to black.
The Italians and the Irish. Happened to them too.
People today. All across this country, there are unresolved, unsolved murders of black people, particularly in Mississippi, right now today, where the culprit has gotten away with it. Why? Because it is a structural desire of white supremacy to be able to eliminate minorities with impunity. And I'm so grateful that there are some woke white folks in this country who get it. Thank you, my woke white brother, for getting it. Spread the word.
There you go, folks.
Believe that.
Hey, folks, that's it. What do you think about that, folks? Okay, spreading truth there. Dixon, thank you for that little short there. And that's it, folks. It's about white supremacy, and it's always been this. This is America is, folks. You can say MAGA, the current MAGA, but he's right. It's always been that way in America. To demonize black people and minorities, particularly black people in America. Just demonize them as animals, savages. That's what they do. Demonize I know the not just black people too. Native Americans, they demonize. And if you kill them, you become a hero. That's all they do, folks. That's all this work. They still so much. This was they showed. This shows that there's so much anti-black racism and racism in general against minorities. Still in America, there's a lot of them. It's even more with Trump people, with the MAGA group. And America's going backwards, folks. And sadly, not just America, but in the world too. A lot of others, the other people, racism and xenophobia against the immigrants, against the other people. It's not just America, other parts of the world too. Okay, folks, I'm out. And this is the next video you'll see. Next video I'm going to do this other guy. But I'm out, folks.